Here we are, part 2 of the Falling Lost Belt. Let's see how this one goes. Yo, how you doing, Eric? Hope you're doing well. Welcome. So I'm seeing all these Camelot people like in the gates. And I see it might be close to time that they bring out Castoria, since they have Morgan there. Yo, Anthony, how you doing? Yo, Palm. Just got back from walking the dogs. Oh, right. Dogs are well walked. And hello. I was looking at the gates. They have the Morgan on there, which is nice. We were talking about her last week too. We're like, isn't like the Morgan outclassed like the Jalter? Like, oh no, that's in terms of Avenger. Jalter still got it. All right, so let's go over to roll for Morgan. Nah. Morgan's cool. I'm not gonna lie, she's cool. She does pretty good damage. But I got this thing with Morgans that it's hard to keep these things alive. So, she could stay here, respectfully. She's a good unit though. She could stay there. Alright, so let's go back over to Lostbelt 3, The Sin. Intro.3.4-4. Oh shoot. No, I don't hate Morgans. No. I do not hate. No. No, Morgans are very respectable units. Absolutely respectable. Let's put this over here. They call them, you know, like how they have like the passive buffs. Make him a FGO servant. What's his passive? Morgan hater. No, I'm just joking. Alright, let's go over here. Oh, I still got 3 more to go. Let's go back over here. Let's get rid of these. Alright. Alright, good. Now I think we can do stuff. Oh, then we gotta get rid of CEs. Okay, let's get rid of these too. Alright, cool. I don't know. They just get here. I was like, it's a stream started like what, 3 minutes ago. They're like, oh yeah, we're here. Oh no, into the dark screen. Not like this. Okay, that took a while to load, but that's okay. All right, here we go. 2 weeks after docking at the Wandering Sea. As you can see, I did my best to recreate Caldia right here in the Wandering Sea. Hit the bell icon. He's like, it's like tap, yo. I call it the Wandering Sea Caldia base. Go on, everyone. I believe a round of applause is in order. This is amazing, Paragon. I can't believe Sion and Captain built all of this in just 2 weeks. Indeed, this is quite the contribution to our cause. But then I suppose this is what the Atlas Institute brightest can do. I say you there, you didn't forget about my director's office, did you? The one I ordered with the private bathroom? Oh wait, you are the director? Yes, that's right. I am the captain of the ship, so to speak. I asked for 3 things. A gorgeous director's office, a stylish operation room, and a German-style kitchen. The command room should suffice for operations. And I already verified that the kitchen is up to snuff, but I haven't seen my director's office anywhere. I presume you took my importance and safety into consideration and made it a secure hidden room? and that sort of initiative goes a long way with me. You will have a lot to look forward to when it comes to your starting salary, now that you're in my employ. Crap, I used an empty warehouse for that. I see, so you used an empty warehouse for my office entrance. I commend you for arranging such an elaborate disguise. But I must say, passing through a warehouse whenever I enter or leave my house sounds like a bother. Tell me, Captain, how would you feel if that were your quarters? Alright, you've convinced me. Anything worth doing is worth doing right. Theon, I'm heading out on another job. I have to make sure everything is perfect. I guess our first servant summoning with Kalia's spirit origin graph will have to wait then. Paragon, Mash, Sir Gordov, staff members. And of course the two servants, Da Vinci and Sir Holmes. Let me first congratulate you on the job well done with all you have accomplished these past 2 weeks. As you saw where you first got here, the Wandering Sea is not exactly the most accommodating place. But that all changes today. From now on, you will each have your own private rooms. No more sharing one big communal space. We also have a cafeteria now, which should be serving proper food starting tomorrow. I have been living on supplements and artificial blood for a long time now, so building a cafeteria was a novel experience for me. Now then, I think it's time for the first Kalia Atlas joint strategy meeting. Oh, but first, did you know what the Atlas Institute is? Or would you like a refresher? Yeah, it's a place of all the Grand Mages. But I'll take the refresher nonetheless. Let's see what she has to say about it. Right, you just sit back and enjoy this info reel I worked up for you. What's the Atlas Institute, you ask? An excellent question, Mr. Paragon. It is an institute of alchemists built in the Atlas Mountains of Egypt. It's also known as the Titan's Pit. It's one of 3 branches of the Mage Association, dealing with accumulation and measurement. Their alchemy is not at all like alchemy as you may know it, the kind that became mainstream in the Middle Ages. They are the progenitors of magecraft, focused on investigating the principles of the world. While they are certainly mages, I understand that their magical circuits are rather paltry. Consequently, they do not rely on magical energy to learn the mysteries of the world, instead using a great number of tools. In a way, these tools evolve similarly to scientific progress. They are treated pseudo-spiritron souls as energy that could be observed and manipulated. This led to homunculi, life forms that possess magical circuits. We have no need to become the strongest. We simply have to create the strongest tool. That was their motto. True to their words, they created many weapons. In the world of magecraft, they are called the 7 taboos. The Atlas Institute created 7 weapons capable of destroying the world. Realizing that they had reached their limits, they sealed them away. There are still many theories about why they decided to build such weapons in the first place. The director of the Atlas Institute was given the title Atlasia. I saw a wall plate on the way here. It says Zephia Etlam Atlasia. He was likely the last director. There seems to have been a successor designated, but the name wasn't recorded. The director of this institute would always go mad, and as a result, they created forbidden weapons that would destroy the world. It is also possible they would try to prevent the destruction of the world, fail in the process, then go mad as a result. Regardless, this place is a storehouse of mystic codes, unparalleled anywhere else on Earth. Although in reality, it's more like a disposal site. The alchemists of this institute would constantly invent things. These were treated as failed creations, and a mountain of terrible weapons accumulated. We're headed to a center of that. What do you think? Do you understand my summary of the Atlas Institute? I most certainly do. May I say something before we begin deliberations, Miss Sion? Apart from the fact that you are a survivor of the Atlas Institute, we still know very little about you. For example, what is your motive here? Why are you helping us? Why? I'm not sure I know how to answer that. I mean, when you are faced with a problem, you work to solve it, right? And as far as the particular problem goes, you people of Chaldea are essential to the solution. I thought that was why we decided to join forces and become friends. Wait, does this mean I was the only one who thought that? Of course, we're friends. Nah, no, reject the friends list. You're right. I'm sorry. I should have been more considerate. Ah, that is very kind of you to say, but do not worry about it. It was partly my fault too. I am not exactly an expert in people, but I do know that there's no team where everyone thinks exactly the same. I am, however, very excited to be able to try having friendships with real people and feelings. As far as I am concerned, that is a much bigger challenge. My apologies. I let my cautious natures get the better of me. I should have remembered that the alchemists are not motivated by personal gain. Their sole desire has always been solving problems. I do beg your pardon, Miss Eon. Please rest assured that I am delighted to have gained such a capable ally. Alright, then shall we get down to business? I went ahead and skimmed through your logs from the day Chaldea was attacked until you end up here. December 31st, 2019. Chaldea's attack in Frozen Solid. That same day, 7 pillars of light are seen streaking down from space, and Custodia William broadcasts his victory speech. Custodia used to be a master from Team A, the linchpin of Chaldea's race-ship experiment. But now, he refers to the new group he belongs to as the Cryptors. Yeah, without Custodias, those other 6 would not exist. It could have been absolute rule. But he's like, you know what? I'll take a suffering to bring these 6 back. Let's see if it'll come back to bite him. Given that Team A was found to be missing during the operation to unfreeze them before Chaldea was attacked, we can assume that the Cryptors Custodia refers to are the other Team A members. As for all of you, you undertook a zero cell in the Shadow Border in order to escape the Orchniki. Although you only spent a week inside Void Space, 3 months had passed when you emerged into Standard Space. To do so, the Border had to rely on your sole connection to Standard Space at the time, the Orchniki. This led you to the Russian Lostbelt, a frigid alternate history inhabited by the Yaga. As you attempted to gather more information about your situation, you ended up facing off with Ivan the Terrible, the king of the Russian Lostbelt. He wasn't too terrible. He was Ivan the pushover. You then managed to cut down Orichi, the tree of emptiness that had been taking root there. I'm still working on what these trees actually are. But based on the data about its internal gravitational field recorded during the battle, I think we can make an educated guess. Once the tree was cut down, the storm it had been generating disappeared, and you were finally able to pick up my broadcast from the Wandering Sea. From there, you decided to make a beeline for the North Sea. But on the way, you ran into another obstacle. That is correct. The Scandinavian Lostbelt, a history stuck in perpetual twilight after Ragnarok went Ari. When I first saw you had lost the paper moon, I might have maybe screamed a little bit, and it was very unbecoming of an Enetlam, so you can imagine my relief when I found out you recovered it. You then went on to face Gothic Scotty, the king of the Scandinavian's Lostbelt, and were able to cut down his tree of emptiness. Sombrero, an impressive track record. After that, a battered and damaged Shadow Border finally arrived at the North Sea and made its way inside this wandering sea. And during all that part, Sion roasted Da Vinci's design of the shadow border. And now here we are. Did I get all that right? Do you have logs other than the ones on the border? Now that I think of it. Alright, back when Paragon and I stopped by some ruins we found along the way. You found a survivor's journal? And you failed to mention it? Let me see that. So there were some people lucky or maybe unlucky enough to escape the bleaching. It also says the attack lasted for 3 months, although... What's up? Is there a problem with it? No, not a problem exactly. It's just odd that whoever wrote this decided to record it on paper. Well, of course they did, young Sion. There was no electricity out there. These ruins were no more than a few shattered buildings. There were no generators anywhere in sight. Exactly, and that is why it's so odd that these letters were not written in ink or pencil. It is as though they were burned into the paper, or something like paper. Does this mean there was some kind of power plant out there after all? Well, we can work on that later, once we have more information. So you have been inside the two of the Lostbelts now, and experienced their differences from proper human history for yourselves. These Lostbelts are dead-end timelines that were pruned away by human history itself once they were deemed unworthy of being allowed to continue. For example, the Russian Lostbelt diverged from proper human history in the year AD 1570, and it seems that each Lostbelt to appear on Earth has continued from its point of historical divergence onto the present day. However, just because the Lostbelt may have diverged from further back in the past, does not necessarily mean it is stronger. A Lostbelt's strength or threat really is not so much as a matter of its age, but how much it differs from the proper human history. The Yaga may have been physically different from mankind, but their lifestyle and culture were still carried over the proper human history. Yeah, their stuff was quite primitive, and they were like, oh yeah, we gotta eat like 10 pounds of meat a day, or we die, or like that's yeah. By contrast, the people in Scandinavia may have led peaceful lives, but their society was essentially being kept on life support. That's right, it's like balancing like who gets to eat and stuff like that. So given what we know from these two, I decided to come up with the metric we could use to rank and compare the Lostbelts. I call it the Lostbelt depth. The greater the Lostbelt depth, the more strongly it refutes proper human history. So what was the Lostbelt's depth for the two we've seen so far? I went ahead and assigned preliminary Lostbelt depth rankings for all 7 of the Lostbelts. Which one's the worst? Oh yeah, this makes it nice and clear. You Atlas Institute people really do work fast. As you can see, there are 3 Lostbelts in Europe, 2 in Asia, 1 in South America, and 1 in the middle of the Atlantic. Alright, the Europe one was it was Russia. Wait, or is Russia? No, Russia's not Asia, right? And Scandinavia, which is Europe. I think those are 2 Europes, right? I think that's right. I don't know my geography, man. Okay. the last Lostbelt is the only place on Earth that still has an ocean from before the world was reset. Wait, scratch that. I forgot about the wandering sea. We still have oceans too, obviously. Never mind that. Did you say the Atlantic? There can't possibly be a Lostbelt in the middle of the Atlantic. There's never been any inhabitants in the middle of the ocean in all of recorded history. Well, there are now. In fact, that Atlantic Lostbelt is our ultimate objective. That is the one spreading its tree of emptiness branches all throughout Earth's atmosphere. and I have good cause to believe it is where we will find the cryptors. Leader, Custodia Woody. So he's the leader of Atlantis? An Atlantic Lostbelt, huh? In that case, there's only one place I can imagine it could be. Do you think it's really possible, Holmes? This sort of thing is your forte, isn't it? He was like, absolutely, it's the lost city of Atlantis. I can't speak with complete certainty, but if what you are thinking is correct, we will certainly have our work cut out for us. For one thing, we have no means of getting there, as the border is simply incapable of making such a long sea voyage. But there's another, more immediate difficulty. If there is truly a civilization in the Atlantic, it will be much, much older than any of the four great civilizations. It will have existed since prehistoric days, a robust, stable world that will have had over 12,000 years to develop. Come on now. Man, don't wimp out on me now. If this Lostbelt is the greatest immediate threat to us, not to mention Woodim's home base, it is our duty to take the fight to them. The other Lostbelts can wait. We should be on our way to the Atlantic even as we speak. I recommend that course of action as well. Just go to Atlantis and just square off the bat? Unlike Russia and Scandinavia, the storm walls bordering the Lostbelt in China and India are not expanding, so there should be no danger in leaving them be for a while. As for the Lostbelt in Britain and South America, Trismegistus calculates an extremely high probability that they will both self-destruct if left to their own devices. Oh wow. So she's calling them like the Britain and South America, where they were just failing Lostbelts from those cryptors can't handle the Lostbelt. I have not been able to get proper readings on the British Lostbelt's death, but that's just another sign that it is a poor fit for this world. I have been unable to confirm what is going on in there, but compared to proper human history and the foundation of humanity, it is pretty clear that humanity in there is on the verge of collapse. So it is reasonable to assume that mankind in the British Lostbelt will go extinct within the span of months rather than years. Though I do wonder why the British Lostbelt is the only one surrounded by a wall of light rather than the storms. We saw that on the border too, and came to the conclusion that it'd be best for us to stay away from the British Isles. Last is the South American Lostbelt. While it appears to have a very high value to its Lostbelt depth, I cannot seem to get any clear information. So I can only conclude that a civilization is just about dead and gone. And that in turn means that even among all these bizarre histories, it is exceptional. And thus, not one we need to concern ourselves with as far as fighting with the others for dominance. So in short, your next destination is the Atlantic. Good luck. Sending you straight to Woodim, the leader. To that end, we will be making some extensive modifications on the border. And by we, I mean Da Vinci, with me assisting. However, since it will take us at least a month to finish, I would like to invite the rest of you to enjoy a bit of rest and relaxation here in the meantime. That goes double for you, Sir Gordoff and Paragon. Once we get our operation going, you two will be on the front lines, so you should take advantage of the rest while you can. You will need to get all the rest you can before the final battle in the Atlantic. A sea voyage in the border, huh? As the commander of this outfit, I hardly expect to be out in the front line, but you are right about me having been under considerable stress. Indeed, now would seem to be an excellent time to recuperate. I must say, I have heard that every mage in the Atlas Institute was a cranky old misanthrope, but you turned out to be the most considerate young lady. It would be a height of rudeness to turn down such a kind offer. Now then, I think I'll begin with a nice hot shower in my wonderful new office. Ah, things are really finally looking up for old Gordoff. We'll have the world saved in no time. Was that shower well earned? Why don't you go upstairs too, Paragon? I know I can't wait to see what our new rooms are like. I hope they're just like the ones at Chaldea. Man, I'm kinda jealous, but if anyone deserves some free time, it's those two. Anyway, how about us, Xian? Are we going to keep going with the meeting? I should warn you, even you might have a hard time modifying the border. Good point. Your designs appear to be all similar to magecraft in the Middle Ages, while mine are based on cutting-edge alchemy. Dang, way to roast her. We could well end up having incompatible designs. Philosines. Yo, Paka, how you doing? But never mind that. Truthfully, I am much more interested in that exoskeleton I think you called in the Ortanax. Mash's own sphere origin tuning is perfect, but the Ortanax still has a way to go. I imagine it is pretty difficult for Mash to fight in that. Am I wrong? No, she makes it easy. Well, yeah, I had to build a lot of Ortanax and spare parts for the board that I had just lying around, so of course it's not perfect. Oh, this one? On YouTube? I could do that. Yeah. I could do that. Maybe I could do that. I don't know. I have to think about that one. Because that notification was always for Twitch. So switching over to YouTube, I have to think about that one. So what do you want to mess with? You know, there's no way to restore her old defensive power, right? Of course, we could not possibly recreate Galahad's gift with Earth as it is now. So instead, I was hoping you might let me tinker with the bunker bolt mechanism. I mean, it does not have to be right this second, but I have something in particular I'd like to add to before we get to the Atlantic. Before I got pulled onto Trismegistus development, I was working on a conceptual weapon related to one's natural longevity. And which weapon is that? It's just like being back at Chaldea. So there you go, she replicated comfort. Oh, I know, some of the details are a little different, but it's still an amazing recreation of Chaldea's rooms. Sion and Captain really outdid themselves. Why don't you go check out your own room, Mash? Oh yes, good idea. I'm so happy I forgot all about that. Okay, I'll go take a look at the room they gave me right now. We're all done with work for the day, so there's no reason not to relax and enjoy yourself now. Good night, Paragon. I'll see you tomorrow morning for breakfast in the new cafeteria. They didn't even turn off the lights. I didn't realize how late it was. Oh. He just sleep with a light on. That's how rough it is. That's true. If you're dead tired, you can sleep with a light on. Oh, there it is. Someone turned off the lights for him. Crap, I'm already awake. I'm thirsty. He about to hit that 3 a.m. water. They said the cafeteria should be ready now. I can't believe this. The nerve of that Atlas Turl. Not only did he not have my director's office ready, he had the gall to tell me to use a sleeping bag at the dock until it was done. The audacity. Some captain he is. No doubt he's some pirate scum of a heroic spirit. If he thinks he could treat me like... No, this won't do. I can't lose my temper like this. Get a hold of yourself. Be elegant. Breathe from the diaphragm. just like Thule taught you. Yo, D, how you doing? Captain may try to hide it, but his dignity is unmistakable. No pirate could fake that. But then, who could he really be? I just can't tell. If only I could ask him myself. But I can't do that. A commander must maintain a certain dignity. Oh, why can't he just accept that we're allies now and tell us his true name already? So let's tell him your name's Nemo. Well, I better I better make myself comfortable, since I'll be spending the night here again. Manuia, Quata, Octavia, Tomlin, Chin, Cayenne, Elrond, Marcus. Who are these people? Curelite, Paragon. Oh, okay. I looked at Kawata. I was like, who's that? Okay, I know Minri. I know, but these other people. I see he had no problem remembering to make rooms for all my staff. I guess they don't get too much screen time. Well, they may have their cushy beds, but there's one thing I've got that they don't. Midnight snack time. Now then, I think I'll go break in the new kitchen. And he ran through the cupboards. Oh, huh. Do you often raid the kitchen like this, Director? I'm not raiding anything. I'm merely having my midnight tea time. You're sharper than you look, aren't you? I never imagined anyone besides me would try to get a jump on the kitchen. Still, I do commend your taste. I presume you were lured here by the sweet scent of butter? Oh, very well then. I already have my fill. Just toss the cake just slide that cake right over here. Here, you can have the other half. There's some leftover tea as well if you want it. That would be great, thank you. By the way, is everything alright with you? And with the demi-servant girl, for that matter. Never mind. I can see you must have woken up in the middle of the night despite being utterly exhausted. That can only mean you've been unable to relax your mind amid all that has happened. Well, I can hardly blame you. This must have been an arduous journey for a young man with no military experience. Once you've had some cake and a nice hot cup of tea, you should have no trouble drifting right off. That sounds like a good idea. I'll try that. Maybe I'll get a cake tomorrow. Try some of that tea I have in the cupboard that I never make, and see if it works. Go back to your room once you finish that. You'll see how right I am. And of course, I trust that you would join me in pretending none of this happened tomorrow morning. Now that you've eaten the other half of the cake I found here, that makes you my accomplice after all. What do you mean by that? Whose cake was this? Exactly what I said, of course. I found this cake here with a note that said, "For Paragon." Dang, he was eating my cake? Don't bother making excuses. Your friends baked it as part of a master welcome party that'll be thrown tomorrow morning, didn't they? Some nerve you lot have, throwing a party and not inviting me. I admit it, I was pretty steamed when I saw this cake with your name on it, but I calmed down quickly and decided to do the right thing and have a taste it for you. Before I knew it, I'd eaten half of the thing. In fact, I was just appreciating how delightfully sweet its cream was when you found me. Now then, are you all finished? Ah, good. This makes us partners in crime. Director, you look kind of pale. Huh? Hold on, you mean you didn't know about this cake? Then who made it? And more importantly, is it just me? Or are we both looking off color? Oh, it was a trap? I also can't help but notice that I'm feeling rather cold and dizzy all of a sudden. Warning. Unauthorized life form detected. Civilian personnel, please remain in your rooms. Security team, please suit up and come to the command room. An unauthorized life form? Then we've got an intruder here. What the? Get back before you get hurt. There's a real nasty woman over there. Captain. Kaicho. This way, Director. Well, this is an unpleasant surprise. I never thought a grown man would stoop to stealing food meant for a child. In fact, you shocked me so much that I lost control of my presence concealment. It seems the one thing you excel at is getting in other people's way. Wouldn't you agree, Your Excellency? What, Koyanskaya did it? Oh, that was pretty. Tamamovich Koyanskaya. Bakana. How did you get into the watering sea? Hold up. Run that name by me again. Trade secret. This was a special trick, I'm afraid I could only do once. Oh yeah, this was the thing during that meeting. This like, are you sure you can get to the watering sea? She's like, yes, trust me, I can do it. I can take them out. And now, you've gone and ruined it, Your Excellency. There was only enough poison in that cake for one person. Half a portion means half the effect. I can't believe my plan to poison him without leaving behind any evidence has backfired so spectacularly. Poison? Poison? Don't be absurd. I gave it a thorough taste test to ensure it was safe. Between the buttery scent, the buttery taste, and the creamy-like texture, it was perfectly gourmet cake. If it had truly been poison, I would spit it out on the first bite. I accounted for that, of course. I made sure to use just enough that not even a mage would notice. I even went to the trouble of mixing it into a delectable cake instead of plain old water, just to be doubly certain. Wait, what? Oh yeah, that's the face of disgust. I was like, what, this pig? Oh, well, that what's done is done. And since it looks like everyone else is on their way here, now, I think I'll take my leave before things turn violent. I'm sure you'll have no trouble figuring out what the poison was with Sherlock and Da Vinci here. But that's all you'll be able to do. If you want to actually neutralize the poison, well, you have no choice but to fight your little friends to the death again. And that should be quite entertaining in its own right. What do you mean? Dang it, she's warping away. What are you waiting for, you fool? Hurry up and catch her before she... Blah! It's no use, she's already gone. Never mind her now. We need to get you to the infirmary. Xion, we got an emergency. Take Da Vinci and meet us inside the border. Well, she didn't have to monologue all of this. She could have just like been spotted, not talk at all, say it was poison, not even mention it was poison, let them mess around and it's like, what's going on? And then find out the hard way. Oh yeah, there was actually poison in there. I'll do my best to cleanse the poison from them in the meantime. She was like monologuing, bragging, oh yeah, I hit you with that poison cake. I'm back. Paragon, are you okay? What did the test say? Calm yourself, Miss Kirlight. I'll get to that. It's been half a day since Koyansky infiltrated our new base. We've done everything we can to treat Paragon and Mr. Gordov. Bluntly, Mr. Gordov has almost 10 days left to live. As for Paragon, this is rather difficult for me to say, but tell me I have like till tonight to live. Difficult as this to say. He's essentially fine. Alright, so this is fine. Alright, carry on everyone back to your stations. The poison remains in his system, but it will have no more effect than a bad cold. A cold? Even though it's fatal for Director Gordoff? That can't be right. We both ingested the same amount of poison. Yes, but thanks to his contract with Miss Kirlight, Mr. Paragon has a rather potent resistance to poisons. If that contract were to be broken, he would most likely be dead in an hour. Thanks, Mash. You saved me again. Well, of course, I'm honored to be helpful, but don't we still have to do something to help Director Gordoff? Dang straight you do. What are you waiting for? I know you can figure out an antidote. They say genius recognizes genius, right? And you're two of the greatest geniuses in human history. Then put all the geniuses to work and help me already. I'm terribly sorry, but for once, there's nothing we can do. We analyzed Koyan Sky's poison, and I'm afraid she's chosen some, frankly, troublesome ingredients. And base sequence does not exist on Earth in 2020, and as such, there's no way for humanity in its current state to reproduce it. Or is that futuristic poison? Which also means it's impossible to formulate an antidote. Its base sequence doesn't exist on Earth in 2020. So Trismegistus is telling us, yeah, we did determine that the poison they ingested is some sort of natural substance, but we have no success determining what plant it was extracted from. All we know is his name, Shulan Shulan Meow Meow, or Immortal Decline, and the fact that it was used a number of times in the past. I can tell you that his name was likely of Taoist origin, considering all its reference to immortality, and that the plant came from its medicinal. But fortunately, that is all. If it doesn't exist on Earth in 2020, then it exists in Atlantis. This can't be happening. Then my chances for receiving an antidote are zero. That tells us to expedite and go to Atlantis and find a cure. That's if we could take our time, though. We don't need to drag this guy with us. Not to worry. That's what you got me for. We may not be able to reproduce the poison just yet, but since we know it is of Taoist origin, it most likely comes from China. So our next step is clear. Just because it's gone in the modern era doesn't mean we're out of options. After all, we got a whole different China we know nothing about, just waiting to be explored. A China that followed a completely different path than the one in the proper human history. What if Taoism doesn't exist there? So I'm absolutely completely certain that we will find an antidote to that poison in the Chinese Lost Belt. Even if we don't, we can learn what it's made from by studying the local ley lines. As luck would have it, I have just managed to summon the perfect guide for us. Come on in. This is a momentous occasion. The very first helper we summon Wokalia's spirit origin graft. Faster than the wind, cuter than fire, this lotus spirit charms even melted the heart of Taya Zene. Who's this? That's right, it's the artificial Baobei made in ancient China. The martial central altar. Crown Prince Neja. Oh, Neja's coming back? Okay. We have Neja back. Da Vinci, that intro is wasted on me. It's embarrassing. I haven't seen Neja since the pirate incident, where Neja sat on the pirate's lap. It was like, oh, and Neja enjoyed it too. I was like, what? But I am honored to be the first resummoned. Ni hao, happy day. Paragon, Mash, I have heard what happened. You did so well surviving that. I will help you from now on. I will work 3 times harder to make up for lost time. Thank you, Nisha. That's wonderful, Da Vinci. You beautiful goddess. I knew glasses suited you. Then you go to the Chinese Lost Belt to save me. Fantastic. The Atlantic Lost Belt can wait. Besides, we need to deal with all of the cryptors sooner or later. Prepare to go immediately. Everyone, We're invading the Chinese Lost Belts to take back proper human history. The next Lost Belt? No, I understand how you feel, Paragon, but Director Gordov's life is at stake. We have to deal with all the Lost Belts, no matter what may be awaiting us in them. After all, we're now wanderers. We have our own world, with our own history. Yeah. Alright, I understand, and I have no objections. This should be a good learning experience. Besides, you are still technically poisoned yourself, Paragon. Just because it is not affecting you right now does not necessarily mean it will not later. We really should neutralize it. Wonderful. This is tremendously promising. What are we waiting for? Let's get the border ready to... Not so fast. There's something else we need to clear up first. Like glasses off immediately. How did Coin Sky enter the Wandering Sea? We need to understand that so we know it can't happen again. It should be impossible to warp into the Wandering Sea from the outside, since it's impossible to see and its coordinates are always changing. And yet, she popped right inside like it was nothing, which means there must have been something she was able to use as an anchor, and she could only do it once. Just to clear up any doubts, Miss Xian, I don't suppose Koinskaya was originally from the Wandering Sea? Or perhaps she had visited here at least once before? No chance. This was definitely her first time here. Then that leaves only one possibility. One of us summoned her. Or rather, more precisely, one of us possesses something with some connection to her. Something connected to her. What do you think could be? For this, I doubt is anything related to magecraft. Could be as simple as a pair of gloves or a hairbrush. Whatever it is, I'm guessing it's something small that contains a fragment of Koinskaya herself. Director Gordov, is something wrong? I'm sorry, Your Excellency. I appreciate your kindness, really. But I've been hurt too many times in the past. I just can't bring myself to trust anyone else. Again. Even though I really want to. Yes, of course. I understand completely, darling. Rest assured, I am patient, man. I can wait as long as I must to melt the ice around your heart. In the meantime, you may use my connection as you see fits. Whoa, the word. I'm not known as music the Phoenix for nothing. After all, my passion is as hot as sultry as my namesake. I swear to you that one day my undying love will find the perfect mink coat to warm your frozen heart. Why aren't you saying anything? Forgive me, Your Excellency. It was just so touched by what you said. Here, Your Excellency, I want you to have this lipstick. Pretend it's me. Keep it close to your heart, where no one can see it. I know how awful I can be, so I'm afraid I may end up disappointing you over and over and over. Over and over. But please remember this. If you swear to hold on to that lipstick forever and ever, I promise you that one day I will return to you, no matter what fate may have in store. Yes, of course, I'll remember. I have faith in you, Koinskaya. I always will. Man, this guy's sold. That's what it was. Chuck that thing out to the Wandering Sea right now. Oh. It's that lipstick? Why you... Stupid thing. So it turns out it was actually Gordy's fault. Farewell's lipstick. Farewell fond memories. At any rate, there's one problem taken care of. We finished investigating the base and removed all traces of Koinskaya or anything she left behind. Welcome back. We should no longer have to worry about unexpected visits from her in the future. Correct, Miss Shion? Yeah, she had one shot at taking you out, and she blew it. I would venture to guess that she is none too pleased right now. But you know what they say, what goes around comes around. Oh, I don't have time to feel sorry for myself. Holmes, Da Vinci. As I was saying, we need to leave for the Chinese Lostbelt immediately. I trust the border is ready. We only have 10 days to find this plant, and we can't waste a single minute. Come to think of it, are you sure we'll make it in time? I'm not already done for, am I? Don't worry, I have thought about that. I just need to run it by Sion, you designed the paper moon. Do you think it'd be possible to zero cell from here all the way to the Chinese Lostbelt border? Especially since I'm guessing Captain there's actually... Shut it, Da Vinci. I can't stand having other people share my secrets. Of course, I'll keep my mouth shut. As long as you help us out, that's all that matters. In my estimation, a zero cell should let us jump from the wandering sea straight to China. We still have to worry about getting inside from there. Of course, but I figured the actual trip to the Lostbelt will take less than a day. What do you think, Sion? Am I totally off base? Nope, all sounds right to me, Da Vinci. No wonder you are Caldia's, or rather, humanity's guardian. I would have suggested the same thing. You were just quicker about it. The Atlas Institute will be glad to get you to the Chinese Lostbelt, right, Captain? I'm not part of the Atlas Institute, but I suppose I can help. I'll have you to the Chinese Lostbelt in less than half a day. After that, it's all up to you guys. Right. And just a half day, get you to the next there. Okay. Well, guess we all agree then. Okay, everyone, get ready to head out. I estimate you should have a room in the border to fit supplies for about 15 days. I will open up the Wandering Sea dock in an hour, so please make sure you are all set by then. Your next destination is the Chinese Lostbelt. Your objective is to obtain some Jishua Miamao, investigate the Lostbelt, and completely cure your 2 poisoned personnel. Oh, and for the bonus round, you can defeat the Lostbelt King, cut down the Tree of Emptiness, and take out the Crifter. I know you are working against the clock as well as any hostiles you encounter, but try to stay calm. At this point, any difference the Atlas Institute or the Wandering Sea may have had no longer mattered. From this point on, I hereby dub the Wandering Sea Caldia number 2, Novum Caldia. As Transmegistius 2's caretaker, I'll do everything I can to support you. Alright then. It is time to get this operation, this order to explore and decipher Lostbelt 3's underway. Good luck with everything, and I will see you all when you get back. That was an intro. Goodness. Interlude. Ooh, we got Bradamante. Oh, this Lostbelt about to be amazing. Dear ancestor Estrella, the judge and judge. Okay. But that doesn't make sense. Why would Bradamante be in the Chinese Lostbelt? But okay, let me see. Let's do this note. Intro, the storm. Evening, how you doing? Emerging from long distance zero cell now. Whoa, we nailed the positioning. I can see the supercell surrounding this Lostbelt 1,000 meters straight ahead. Whoa. Impressive. Even if this precision is only possible when embarking from the wandering sea, it is quite something to behold. What's more, Miss Sion tells me that we can expect this level of precision anywhere except the north and south. Just woke up? Welcome, welcome. Unfortunately, we may have been a little too precise. At this distance, our only choice is to head straight into the storm wall immediately. Nope, this is all lure at the moment. They're just talking and establishing the thing that's alright. We gotta go to the Chinese Lostbelt because these guys are poisoned. Thank you, Koinskaya. Alright, Gordy, chuck out the lipstick, and now we're here. Mr. Gordov, how are you? It would seem his fear of the poison has more or less overwhelmed him. He will not be of much use for the time being. How about you, Mr. Paragon? Are you ready for the next phase? Yes, I think so. Good. Miss Sion was kind enough to take some significant improvements to your Mesa code. It should be a good deal more useful both in keeping you alive and in aiding your performance as a master. I'll explain more once we arrive to the Lostbelt, but yes, Miss Caroline, is something the matter? Oh, no, it's nothing. I'm good to go as well. I did feel the same warmth during that last zero cell as I did in Scandinavia, but... Okay guys, that's enough. Ready or not, we're embarking on another zero cell. We don't want to burn the board as fuel unless we really have to. So I'm going to take advantage of the inertia we got by launching from the wandering sea. We'll be emerging inside the Lostbelt without anything to guide us, just like we did in Scandinavia. Oh, well. What's this now? Good news, Gordy. Looks like Koinskaya is inside the Chinese Lostbelt too. She is? Are you sure about that, Da Vinci? Yep, I got a pretty solid sample of her data yesterday, so there's no mistaking it. Now we can kill two birds with one stone. Nah, she's not gonna die. Nope. That's Koinskaya. Like Houdini at this point. Not only will this greatly improve our odds of emerging from the void space, we can also ask her about an antidote once we capture her. Anyway, set the anchor point from hypothetical / living human to Koinskaya. Got it. But man, as if I didn't already have my hands full with driving this thing. Dang it, just when I could have used this old man's help. So, what if Koinskaya anticipated this and put like a diversion? Nope, nothing yet. Yep, that's correct. I wonder if she really has an antidote. Very well then, in light of this new information, I believe a new course of action is in order. We should cancel our search for Zhu Chuan Mimao in favor of capturing Koinskaya. That would be a much surer way of neutralizing the poison Gordov and Paragon consumed. And it would be one less threat to our future endeavors. As for the Cryptor and the Tree of Emptiness, our goal there would be remain unchanged. We find and restrain the former and cut down the latter. Would that be acceptable to you, Director? Yes, of course. That sounds great. Indeed. This is no time to be trembling and afraid. No more, Mr. Nice Guy. Tamamovich Koinskaya. The next time we meet, I'll see you pay for everything you've done. Quote. Hey now, don't get ahead of yourself, Gordy. We still have to capture her first, remember? Even if we succeed at that, it won't amount to anything if we can't make her tell us where to find her or how to make the antidote. Understood. I will hold back. However, I will not show her mercy. We should at least berate her, right? After capturing her? It is best if we beat this villain so that she can never again stand up or engage in any evil schemes. China is my home, Lostbelt, or not. Its air and land should remain the same. As such, I should have no trouble defeating this demon. Thank you, Neja. It's great to have your help. Alright, we're now only 400 meters away from the storm wall. Do it, Da Vinci. Expanded logic formula on Shadow Border's external armor, removing existence verification for reality space. Future prediction. Hypothetically proof mirror world plane in 20 seconds. Relaxing space-time friction decompression for 0.4 seconds. All systems are green, and void space sea observations remain locked at previous results. Shadow Border, untethered from reality. Void space, dive 0 sail. Unfurl once again. Alright, so it starts. Lostbelt No.3, the synchronized intellect nation Sin, the crimson beauty under the moon. Alright, how many nodes is this first one? Seating point. 2 nodes? Okay, we can do these 2 nodes. Sorry, we do these 2 sections, then call it. Alright, so the third Lostbelt. Watch these 2 sections be like an hour long each. Guest servant. Neja. No choice here. Alright, MASH is starting out. They want MASH? No, I don't think that this is fine as it is, right? Let's go like this. Unless they're forcing MASH. Oh, I heard this tune. This is one of my I like this Lostbelt tune. I could probably post in the Discord the mix of this one. It's pretty good. When it combined with the when combined with the how do you say it? The Anastasia Lostbelt. It mixes pretty well. Bring this one. Okay, never mind. They're forcing MASH. Okay. Shielder. Alright, let's go grab ourselves a MASH then. Sort. I'm looking. I'm sorting. Caster, Avenger, Ruler. Oh, here's Shielder. Okay. Give me. Alright. Hey, how you doing? Monteforce. In the middle? It took a while to find it. It's actually one of the third Lostbelt. You say you thought you had a dream, that it might have been some kind of sign. And that absurd reasoning has you drinking poison from a chalice. So you think it's foolish too, huh? My wife said the same thing. His Imperial Majesty himself gave me this poison. All I need to do is drain it in a single gulp. and I will displease him no more. I have slain too many for one in my position. You may say I've outlived my usefulness. I don't understand. None of this would have happened if not for how petty the Emperor is. How can you be willing to lay down your life for a man like that? You may not see any sense in it, but this is simply that what it means to be a warrior. Once I heard you were going to die, I had to come and ask. Say the word, and I will see everyone who toyed with your destiny, who forced this hollow loyalty upon you, drown in the sea of their own blood. I'm honored you are so angry on my behalf. It's more than I deserve, and I will admit that I do have my share of regrets. But at this point, I've truly come to believe this is a fitting end to the life of a Gao Chang'om. I don't understand. The way you talk of life and death makes no sense whatsoever. But then, I suppose I could never understand, as death is a concept that's never had meaning to me. Ah yes, that's true, isn't it? Perhaps, if anything, I should be the one begging you for forgiveness. After all, the peace I will attain in death will be forever beyond your reach. Perhaps I'm jealous. Jealous of your death and of the brilliance of your life leading up to it. You are too kind, I assure you. I know no more of death's secrets than you do. Even should I learn them now, they will soon be lost to darkness. Do you have any last wishes? Good question. If I could wish for something beyond my own death, it would be to someday see you again. I suppose such a wish must sound completely absurd. Not necessarily. I have seen the likes of you shatter more daunting barriers. I have seen them tame lightning, cure plagues, and even change the course of rivers. I cannot say how long it will take, but eventually the day may come when those bound by mortal lives learn to reach beyond even death. Should such a day come to pass, if I am lucky enough to be there to see it, then I shall recall your final wish. You don't know how happy I am to hear that. In all my 30 years of life, there's nothing I've treasured more than your presence. Oh wait, this mask is that guy who takes off his mask on the horse. I forgot his name, but I got that guy. He just spooked me randomly. I think that's his mask at least. He was like, oh yeah, you want to see my face? And then he just like takes off the mask. Yeah, I was like, so when they put the poster, I said, I know that mask. I was like, oh. Reality space anchor attached. Reality verification complete. Proper human history resemblance. A Lostbelt Def E. Establishing shadow border existence within Lostbelt. Zero cell shall return successful. It was gonna slide by until like they paused for like 5 seconds at the end, made you look at the mask. Then I was like, I've seen that mask before. I was like, oh, that's that guy's mask. I'm glad we had another emergence that went so smoothly. How are you feeling, Paragon? Yeah, Prince of La Ling Wang. You hate that dude? Well, he constantly spooks you. I know this poison isn't causing you any pain right now, but also I've heard you're not feeling entirely yourself. I'm fine. Just a little short breath is all. So cold symptoms are the worst of it for you. Are they? Must be nice. I'll have you know I used to have asthma when I was a young lad. But after I read the members of the great bodybuilder, actor, and politician who once suffered from the same disease, I followed his example, overcame it with rigorous training, though sadly, I don't have his muscle to show for it. Yep, this be the Lostbelt 3. My point, young man, is that all you need is gumption This is no time to let your fears get the better of you. Yep, this is the third sin. Yep, the Chinese one. I must say, it's almost encouraging to see our commander so energetic despite his poisoning. Yep, we still got plenty of time to find a cure. Gordy's a mage, so he's pretty well accustomed to dire threats like this. Now, let's see what things look like outside. Oh. 18 degrees Celsius, 30% humidity, gentle breeze, no unusual magical energy readings. I'm looking out the window right now, and it looks like a field. I gotta say, I'm almost creeped out by how normal it seems here compared to the other two Lostbelts. I'm not quite sure what to make of it. Are there any hostiles outside? Not according to our instruments. Since it looks like it's safe, why don't we all go see for ourselves? Is this really the Chinese Lostbelt? Oh. Latitude, longitude don't lie. We're standing right at 30 degree, 40 N, 110, 50 E. In proper human history, this would be Xi'an, a major city with a population of 3.4 million people. Well, this is certainly not a city, but it doesn't look like untamed wilderness either. Perhaps it is a wheat field or the like. Admittedly, it would be an extraordinarily large one. I recognize the smell in the air here. This is my homeland. And yet, I have no memory of this strange landscape. How confusing and depressing. It seems I am useless as a guide for you, after all. Hey, don't worry about it. All bets are off when it comes to Lostbelts. Besides, we have a much bigger role for you to play than just a guide. Nezha's our translator. For the moment, I've picked up a ley line only a kilometer or so away from here. Between that and how surprisingly safe this area looks to be, I'd say we're off to a pretty good start. Now, what do you say we take the shadow border over to the ley line and set up a summoning circle? Got it. I'll go warm up the engine then. You can never be too prepared for combat in these Lostbelts. Okay, the ley line is right around that well. Go ahead and park it here. It certainly doesn't look like a dangerous area, but something feels off. True, if anything, it's too peaceful. And considering how expansive this farmland is, it's weird that we haven't seen a single piece of agricultural machinery. The building here seems a little crude too. Yeah, I've never seen anything quite like them before. Though, I guess you could say they kind of look like collective housing. You mean like an apartment building? That's right, although I'm not sure building is the right word for that structure. All that ground they leveled and they're still living in holes, it's like something out of a stone age, calling them primitive. Maybe civilization never really developed in this world, living in foxholes. Oh, there's some people headed this way. Shall we try talking to them? Oh, they about to attack us. That's why we had to choose Maj and Nezha. Yes, but do be careful. I doubt they pose any threat to us, but we cannot afford being seen as that either. What the? Who the hell are these people? And what are they doing in our field? Look at their weird clothes. Do you think they might be foreigners? Foreigners? Here? Does that mean they came from that strange storm then? Hurry up and call the supervisor. Maybe he'll know what to do. Well, at least the translators seem to be working fine. According to our linguistic analysis, they're speaking Middle Chinese, a language that predates the Song dynasty. Conversation is a good starting point. However, we have frightened them. This pattern is not good. Hey, did you really see foreigners? Yeah, they didn't even think about, hey, maybe dress some sort of Chinese clothes, you know. I don't like, see what they have going on. Yeah, they're right over there. See for yourself, supervisor. They just popped up in my field out of nowhere. They were riding around in that weird box. They wear really strange clothes, and I think they've got weapons too. Oh crap, I don't like where this is going. Paragon, help us out before things get turned violent. Yeah, I've been maneuvered with this green foreigner jacket over here. Tell them this is all just a big misunderstanding. If Holmes tries to explain, he'll just make things worse. Oh, and what's wrong with my explanations? You get offended over here. What do you mean you know harm? Ah, he talked. If you don't mean any harm, then why'd you show up in the middle of the field dressed like that? Go on, supervisor. Get rid of him for us before they ruin any more wheat. You got it. What he gonna do? They're all taking out weapons. Now what do we do? Alright. I know we usually say set shield to stun, but set it to kill. You can't have any people spreading rumors. Oh. Huh. It seems their bare bones lifestyle has not lent itself to open minds. I'm afraid we'll need to pacify them before we can begin negotiations. Is now really the time for detached analysis, Holmes? Can't you use a charm or something? Gordy, the only one of us who can use charm spells. Well, he says he can anyway. And even if he's telling the truth, he's still comfortably holed up inside the border right now. If the Chinese were to see him, they'd probably roast him. Just like, hey, you better give some rice back right now. It'd be best to summon a servant with a powerful innate charm skills. But what would require access to the ley line, which we don't have yet? It would seem we cannot avoid this battle. Fortunately, our opponents should be willing to listen once they get this out of their system. While this would be an ideal situation for my buddies, I'm afraid I will have to sit this one out. Alright, you still haven't fully recovered yet. Guess we got no choice then. Mash, Neja, go ahead and fight them off if that's what they want. Just make sure not to harm any of them. Understood. I also would like to avoid excessive force. I will be careful. Yes, we'll do as a great gentleman do. And the true spirit of bullets. Hit him with the backhand. No, he doesn't use backhand. He uses palm, I think, probably. Instead of like knuckles.
頑張るファイト
3 turns.
議論しよ
We hold on to that, it's fine. Oh wait, Mash needs this then.
うバンカーボルトリロード
I think this is the first fight, so there's no problem here.
バンカーボルトリロード前に出ますはいそれ照準ブースト
Okay, I didn't think she would do that much damage.
これ示弾装填します
Oh wait.
はい示弾装填しますこれならまだ
Too bad I can't see their MP. I'll say, how they got MP? They're just they're they're
それ
they're just farmers.
はいやっ勝利確認結果当然えへん
I see. So you got into a fight almost the instant you left the border. Yes, I'm afraid we ended up in a standoff with the locals. At least we got them backed down for now. All thanks to you and Nejo's efforts not to harm them. They do appear to understand that our intentions are not violent now. They're currently monitoring us from what I suppose they consider a safe distance. It seems they have their own responsibilities to tend to. Correct. No signs of reinforcements. We are safe for the moment. Yo, this is like the most friendliest fight in the Lostbelt, like starting fight in the Lostbelt since we've been in the Lostbelt. Huh, I see. So you managed to avoid provoking them. I'm relieved to hear they're sharp enough to realize we're only lost travelers trying to get our bearings. Although, what about the servants? You said we can summon more than once. We're able to use a Leylon, right? Da Vinci's outside preparing a summoning circle right now. I think she's run into some kind of trouble though. Hey guys, I'm setting up everything right now. Just give me a moment to work out the kinks. Sure, I ran into a little trouble, but don't worry. It's the kind I'm used to. Hey Da Vinci, are you sure it's okay to hook this weird machine up to match the shield? It looks super shady. In fact, it doesn't even look like it was made on Earth. Oh right, that's the booster Sion lent me. Get this, a single one lets you manifest a spirit origin equivalent to 3 servants. She called it a whatchamacallit cell. Unfortunately, they burn out after a single use, but we're not gonna be stingy with Paragon and Gordy's lives at stake. Alright, now we just stand by in the base. As soon as we get a response from the servant side, I'll kick it off to the excited state so we can start the summoning. There we go. Now it's just a matter of time. As long as the servants have some connection to you, Paragon, I'm sure they'll answer the summoning Lostbelt or not. I see. Well done, Technical Advisor. In that case, you can start by summoning a skilled caster capable of brainwashing these barbarians in Marseille. This is an emergency, and an urgent one at that. We need to start making progress post-haste. Oh, are you alright with that course of action, Mr. Paragon? I'm not a fan of brainwashing, but it must be done, you know. I agree. Since we have working translators, I think it would be best if we try for more positive relations. Regardless, the summoning will take time. It will be in our best interest to negotiate while that proceeds. Sometimes, Mr. Gordoff, there's something to be said for not letting sleeping dogs lie. Alright then, who's going to lead these negotiations? Paragon already tried and failed, remember? Where are we going to find an angel with a smile cherubic enough to win over these barbarians? Everyone looking at you? He self-proclaimed charm master? Oh wait, looking at Da Vinci, I guess. That's right. We're just poor, hapless travelers who lost our way. Oh, you poor thing. That must have been so hard. We didn't mean to ruin your field, I promise. Do you think you can forgive us? Oh, don't worry about that. We can always till it again. Hell, just getting to talk to such a pretty girl as you kind of makes me. Yeah, I thought they're gonna send Gordoff out there. I was like, oh, never mind. They're gonna use Da Vinci out there. makes me want to tilt the field more than ever. Oh, Da Vinci really is a force to be reckoned with, isn't she? She's not technically lying, but she's not exactly being truthful either. She's a demon with the face of an angel. Oh, just look at those men falling over all over themselves. That outsider's got them twisted around her little finger. Hey, you never know. I was like, you never know. I was like, why did they go silent? And then they all look at Da Vinci and say, all right, you go handle those relations. How can they possibly trust any of those foreigners after the beating they gave the poor supervisor? Aha, sensing an opportunity. I do beg your pardon about that, madam. Please allow me to apologize for trampling on your fields as well. I only hope you can believe me when I say that we truly do want nothing more to resolve this matter peacefully. Alright, now he's playing to the female emotions now. Unfortunately, the truth is that we have lost our way and are uncertain as to where we are. I am so terribly sorry to impose, but could you please tell me us about this place? You are our only hope. We are. Well then, I suppose we ought to step up. Call him the Rizzler. True. I mean, if a man this handsome needs our help, the least we could do is hear him out, right? Oh. Well, Holmes has his look, if nothing else. Agreed. I do not know why we fought earlier. Well, the important thing is that we've reached a peaceful resolution. It looks like they were all just scared more than malicious. They seem to be good people at heart. Alright, tell them we'll take like half their wheat fields and it's for keeps. By the way, Da Vinci, what was the trouble you ran into with the spirit origin graph earlier? An excellent question, Holmes. Glad to see you're paying attention to the important bits. What? I thought you already resolved the issue with summoning servants. Less resolved and more worked around. I still don't know what the problem really was. This Lostbelt's nothing like either Russia or Scandinavia. I tried using the ley line here to connect to the Lostbelt's Throne of Heroes, but I didn't get any response. None whatsoever. There was nothing wrong with the equipment, so whatever the problem is, it has something to do with this world. Granted, the odds were always low that a heroic spirit from this Lostbelt was going to be eager to help us, so I wasn't counting on that. Here they don't believe in heroes, but it's still odd that there'd be no answer at all, right, Holmes? Indeed. So I just dropped the idea and switched back to trying to summon Focalia's spirit origin graph. Now we're just waiting for a heroic spirit to respond to our call. In fishing terms, we baited our hook and cast our line. All there is for us to do is now be patient. What could be going on, Paragon? Maybe it means there's no one there? Honestly, even though my genius once again carried the day, I really don't know what happened there. Well, what I do know is that the connection to the Throne of Heroes is just that, a connection. It doesn't exist in the Lostbelt's ley line. It could also be that our definition of what a heroic spirit is doesn't match this Lostbelt's definition of heroic spirit. And what exactly do you mean by that? This is a fantastic phenomenon, one that no doubt gets to the heart of this Lostbelt's true nature. But right now, we have nothing more than speculation. We'll need to collect more evidence before we begin drawing any conclusions. Oh, that sounds to me like you already have a pretty good idea of what's going on, Holmes. I do have a hypothesis, but a good detective only shares the deductions once they are supported by clear and undeniable evidence. Alright, and what's behind this one? Ninja again. And they force you to use mash again. Okay. Alright, let's continue. The air is so clean here. It is, isn't it? It feels like forever since I was last able to breathe this easily. Since in the other Lost Belt, the border was the only safe place we could go. Oh, I almost forgot we have the Chaldea base now too. Anyway, being surrounded by a natural landscape like this really feels like... Oh, what's up with that sky above us, Paragon? Looks very peaceful. It looks like some kind of streak. It's not as bad as the other Lost Belt. One had the eternal storm, you can never see the sky. The other one had the aurora lights. And this one has like, I don't know what streak they're talking about here, but it looks like a peaceful sky. I didn't notice it during the night, but that's definitely strange, right? So unless it's talking about that one right here. I guess it must be normal here since none of the locals seem to be taking any notice of it. Da Vinci still has them all practically enthralled. So hey, what's the name of this era? Era? What's that? I was just mostly just wondering what year it was. Oh, well, I'm turning 22 this year. I was waiting for it to say year. What's that? We all start working when we turn 5. And I've planted these fields 17 times now. So that adds up, right? Thanks. I was thinking more along the lines of calendar, though. It's time to plant the seeds and harvest the last crop. Of course. You can tell by the moon, you see. Oh, let's try this then. Who's the foremost leader in the world right now? Why, that'd be the most glorious and majestic heavenly emperor, of course. And what is this emperor's name? Name? Why, most glorious and majestic heavenly emperor, of course. You might as well ask me what the sun and moon are called. The names are right there. Well, where might we find this emperor then? In the capital. Where else? And where's that? They say it's way, way off into that direction. Have you ever been there? Me? Why would I ever go there? We only worship from afar with gratitude. None of us would exist without most glorious and majestic heavenly emperor blessing after all. Somebody had an ego? He's like, yeah, he's like, it's like a Tribe Called Quest. You gotta say the whole thing. What do you guys call him? Like the short name for this? MGM? MGMH? Just call him MGM. Huh. What's up, Mash? Paragon, do you smell that? Huh, are you talking about the Eau de Cologne? I did switch to my more wild American brand after we got here. No, I don't mean that. It's less of a human scent and more beastly. This presence, no mistake, bloodthirsty creatures are headed this way. What is that thing? There's another over there. What the? Those are Krichat, like we saw in Russia. What are they doing here? We can figure that out later. Da Vinci. Right now, we need to evacuate the villagers. Good old Krichat.
警備技能使用技能の使用それこれそれはっシャー
I can't remember. I have to look at her skills again. Oh, this person's skill, I should say. Measure skill again. Is it AoE or single target? It's all of them. Okay, cool. Alright, let's do that.
以前のようにはいきませんが殺伐それ
AoE
凍結
for sure.
これは多くの後多くの願いを受けた現
I think I have one measure, it's just not built.
モールだやめろさフォーク開封同連戦術式目3根飛んで7泊無産これすなわち火戦争炎上
Pretty flashy.
状況終了排熱そして充電に移行しますねマスター
No one look at my QP, okay? We're in poverty at the moment. Alright, hostiles eliminated. That said, those were from the Russian Lostbelt. I can't believe we're seeing creatures from an entirely different Lostbelt here. This is too bizarre to be coincidence. You there, have you seen some creatures like this before? No way, I've never seen a monster like that in my life. Me neither. The worst things we've seen until now were like the wild boars the supervisor used to chase off. Need a lotto? Yeah, I'm hurting for a lotto. I got like 280 like blue apples ready to go. If we ever run into these things before, we'd probably be dead now. Don't worry, we'll help you for as long as we're here. It's the least we can do to make up for ruining your field, right, Paragon? Of course. What are you two saying? We didn't come here to serve as his village bodyguard? No, Miss Kula is correct. Those creatures should not be present here. If they have made a sudden appearance, we should investigate it. How are you feeling, Paragon? I'm fine. Great, your vital signs are all looking good, too. So your condition's definitely not too serious just yet. We still gotta keep a close eye on it, of course, but I don't think we need to worry too much just now. I must say, you're looking a tad pale, Commander. Are you sure you won't lie down in the command room? Oh, be quiet. I just have a little heartburn from eating too much cake, that's all. I'm in perfectly good health. I'll have you know, if a third-rate mage can handle this poison without a problem, then of course I can too. That aside, we're still no closer to getting our bearings here, even with the local sharing. Our first order of business is to gather as much information as possible. Otherwise, we have no way of knowing where to even begin. Where to begin? How about we begin with finding Koenskaya, like we originally planned? A fair point. I sincerely doubt she came here on a lark. Very well then, how do we track her down? We'll never find her if we merely walk around without a plan, after all. Given that this is a Lostbelt, we know there must be a crypter guarding its tree of emptiness somewhere. And just like in Scandinavia, this Lostbelt's tree doesn't seem to be visible. Yes, that concerns me too. The Russian tree was so large as to be visible from hundreds of kilometers away. The fact that we cannot see it here means that it must be disguised, as it was in Scandinavia. And that, in turn, means that this Lost Belt's king understands that it is something to best kept hidden. Well, as for Kadak, he had no choice. That tree was barren, he had nothing to hide it, he had no hope. Of course, if they so wished, a fairy or sage could make a fountain disappear with relative ease. I really don't want to imagine going up against someone like that, but given everything so far. Indeed, even if we were to capture Koenskaya today, we cannot simply leave this Lost Belt behind. As long as it exists, it remains a threat to proper human history. Sooner or later, we will need to face the cryptor responsible for it. All the more reason for us to hurry along with our investigation. You're all being far too generous, agreeing to be this village bodyguard. I mean, I can understand how scared those villagers would be if the Kricha were to suddenly attack again, but I assure you, Mr. Gordoff, this is all part of our investigation. What was that? It's safe to assume that those hostile creatures are the same type of demonic beasts we fought in Russia. Think back to when we first learned about them. The Krichat are demonic beasts that originated in Russian Lost Belt and possess numerous characteristics that let them survive in this frigid environment. But this Lost Belt is far too warm for such creatures. Oh, now I get it. So that's why Mash and Paragon agreed to help. Right, this has everything to do with us. It just followed along, you know? Like seeing a wild Pokemon encounter. The fact that those creatures showed up in a different Lost Belt can only mean that someone brought them here. Indeed, someone who can come and go between Lost Belts as they please. Since we can of course eliminate ourselves as suspects, that only leaves one possibility. Yeah, Koenskaya brought some souvenirs over. Tamamovich Koenskaya. Precisely. A most astute interjection, Mr. Paragon. Watson would have been proud. Finding Koenskaya remains our priority, but at the moment, we have far too little information to act on. If anything, the Krichat appearances are our only real lead so far. We cannot afford to overlook it. Hey, can I just say something? I sent out a surveillance drone toward the capital, and I discovered something interesting. Oh, was there actually a city out that way? I tried zooming in and cleaning up the long-range footage at best I could, and, well, it's easier if you just take a look. Stacking souvenirs? Yeah, she's like, here, this is a nice pet I found in Russia. Have fun with it. Hopefully she brought a giant or two from Scandinavia. What the hell? For once, I am generally at a loss for words. So much for civilization never developing here. If they got the science and engineering know-how to build a metropolis like this, then they've come way farther technologically than we thought. I mean, there's not a single support column holding this thing up, so they obviously figured out how to make it float. And since it's clearly no giant air bladders or the like, I've got to wonder just how the hell are they making something like that, something that heavy float? Perhaps magecraft is used openly here. Either that, or they really have advanced scientifically to the point where they could control gravity. In the latter case, they would be well ahead of proper human history, at least in terms of technology. Oh, and while I was at it, I grabbed some footage of that weird perfectly straight line in the sky too. Here it is at the max magnification. What is that thing? Well, for starters, it's about 2,000 kilometers above us, so it's just barely in low orbit, but my estimates is more than 5 kilometers wide. That's not even the best part. It stretches along the entire observable sky of the Lostbelt. Wow. Then how come we couldn't see it before entering this Lostbelt? If it's 2,000 kilometers up, that's gotta put it above the storm clouds, right? That must mean that this Lostbelt borders prevent anything within from being seen, storm or no. So it's sort of like a privacy filter streak. Anything built during their history, no matter how big it might be, is impossible to observe from the outside. Forget measuring size and mass from the outside. There's no way to even know it exists at all. Even now that we can observe it, I have no idea what it is or what it is for. If the people of this world built it themselves, that raises even more questions. I'll say, how can something like that exist when life in this farming village is so primitive? I kept flying the drone around in every direction. I didn't see any other building or structure even remotely close to the scope of the capital. East, west, north, south. There's nothing but fields everywhere I looked. It was the land of the flat. Seriously? Man, I can't tell if this place is way ahead of proper human history or way behind it. Whatever is taking place here is no doubt stems from this world's deviation from proper human history. Da Vinci, I trust you can determine the capital's latitude and longitude from here. What happens when you map it to the China we know? Is there a record of capital city dating back to a well-known dynasty here? You already figured that out? I wanted to keep you all in suspense a little longer. I can certainly understand the desire for a dramatic reveal of information. Under the present circumstances, however, I'm afraid we are reliant on you for all such inquiries, so please give us your information now. Oh yeah, you made your point. Based on its distance from our present location, it corresponds to proper human history's Ziyang Prefecture. Ziyang? Isn't that? Indeed, it dates back to the Qing dynasty. Qing? That was before the Three Kingdoms era, wasn't it? Does that mean it predates Jiang Yu and Liu Bang? That's right. The Qing dynasty was a major empire around 200 BC. It's known for being the dynasty of China's first emperor. It was the country ruled by the great Qin Shi Huang. So that is Chaldea, your enemy. Yes, but not only are they my sworn enemy, they also command a threat to the safety of your empire. Okay, so Akuto. Okay. Akuta, my bad. Akuta Hina. Namely, heroic spirits. We see, indeed. We were quite surprised when you first told us of them. You said this master can summon an army of great heroes from the past, correct? We find this difficult to credit indeed. We are certain you would not lie to us, but how could a few mere soldiers ever hope to overturn our eternal reign? We cannot even imagine the possibility. You underestimate heroic spirits at your peril. Those whose souls are offered to the counterforce are given tremendous power to ensure the continuation of humanity. Trust me when I say that a single servant is easily the equivalent of 1,000 ordinary soldiers. So this Alaya you spoke of, you said is the sum of total human consciousness. This sounds like pure nonsense to us. Is this the manner of thing you simply accept in your own world? You make an excellent point, Your Imperial Majesty. My world was more chaotic and less complete than yours. It must have been. There's something so preposterous as resurrecting the dead heroes. Heroic spirits to fight in one's place is considered normal. We cannot help but wonder how a world where such things were necessary to maintain order could have lasted. I must warn you too, your Imperial Majesty. The Master of Chaldea is an enemy you can't afford to ignore. Wow, this is an amazing suit. Hold on. Nope. Wait, how'd it go? There you go, we got it. Yeah. That was a pretty good suit. Or, outfit. Alright. We have forgotten that you are from the same world as Akuta. Kimiskaya? Yeah, more Koyanskaya costume, right? I like that one in particular. Because I want that one. My name is Koyanskaya, your Imperial Majesty. Do you think you could try to remember this time? Watch your tongue when speaking to the Emperor. Wrench. Dang! Yeah. No matter. These visitors come from a world beyond our domain. Of course, our customs elude them. Thank you, your Imperial Majesty. I do understand that you may find it rude and presumptuous of me to warn one so omnipotent as you. But the fact is, Chaldea has already brought strange creatures with them that threaten your people's safety. Oh wait, this was her plan. She set that up, then. Oh wow. This posed quite a problem for your quarantine as well. Surely you don't want them to get away with this. Please, your Imperial Majesty, if you really wait for them to reveal their true barbaric nature, it will be too late. Huh. If it is so important to you, then why have you not done something about it yourself? Man, this person is smart. You command these servant puppets as well, do you not? Yes I do. If you would forgive me for disturbing your eternal paradise, I can summon one right now. Very well. Show us exactly what these warriors from another world are capable of. Yes, your Majesty, your Imperial Majesty. Why does she get to name the short term right there? She doesn't call him by the proper name of like Marvelous Impermeable or whatever it is. MGM. Doesn't call him MGM. Alright, here we go. Huh, this Emperor is much more laid back than I thought. I expected a bit more eagerness to take down the threats to their empire. I had hoped for the same. Nothing ever seems to go as planned with the Emperor. But oh well, this isn't going to change. Well, sorry you ended up having to do all the work in consequence. I do hope it won't take you too long to finish them off. Is that all you have to say for yourself? After all the trouble you've caused? Cause she is her? You gotta say the full name though. I forgot what it stood for, but MGMH something, right? Please don't glare at me like that, Akuta. You're gonna make me cry. We're on the same side in all of this. Besides, isn't the Master Chaldea every crypto's sworn enemy? Of course, you could have lured him to any of the other territories, and any of them would have made sure to finish him off. Oh, so we landed in the peaceful territory. Wow. I would go as far to say as any one of them would be a better pick for this kind of work than me. So why do you have to bring them to China? They're here because they were following you, right? Thank you so much for that. Don't be so hard on yourself, Akuta. I really thought you would be the best fit for the job, seeing how you're so good at defenses and all. You see, I actually tried to assassinate him as a favor to Beryl. But I'm afraid things didn't go exactly as planned. See, the poison I used is called Jishuang Mingmang, and, well, I don't suppose you already know what it is, do you? You're unbelievable. Ah, so you do know about it. You're one smart cookie, aren't you? In that case, you can see where this is going, right? Including what they'll try to do to find an antidote. So they're gonna try to set them up. Oh yeah, this is the actual antidote but it turns out it accelerates it or activates it, makes it more potent. Koenskaya, did you do this on purpose? No, I didn't. This time I only had about 10% of a plan. That's why I wasted no time coming to warn you, Akuta. I wanted to take responsibility, see? I mean, Kalia's got the world's greatest inventor and greatest detective on their side now, right? I knew it wouldn't take them long at all to figure out where the poison came from. So I thought instead of wasting time trying to sweep this under the rug, it would be much better to fortify our defenses now. So here I am, warning you about the danger and taking responsibility. It's not like you and I are complete strangers, right? So I thought I could help you out with getting rid of Chaldea. Besides, we're both misanthropic outcasts. It only makes sense for us to join forces, don't you think? True, that much I know we have in common. But that still doesn't explain why you brought those dangerous pets of yours along. Pets? Perish the thought. They have their dignity, at least as far as wild animals go. So you didn't order them to go around killing people? Of course not. Why would I rob myself of the pleasure of torturing and killing humans? No, they're just doing their best to survive and find food in an environment they're not used to. Don't you find that far more endearing than a bunch of defanged livestock, like this nation's people? That's not the problem, and you know it. How could you set demonic beasts from another Lostbelt loose here? If the Emperor finds out you're the one responsible for them, you will find yourself in real trouble. Oh, that? You might say that that's just part of a lifelong project for me. Don't worry, I promise I won't make any trouble for you. You have your own life's work you devoted yourself to, don't you, Akuta? So I think we'll both be happier if we just stay out of each other's way. Fine. What's done is done, after all. There's no way I'm letting Chaldea mess up my nice, stable Lostbelt. Don't you dare go easy on them, Saber. As you wish, Master. I promise. I won't let you down. Huh? When did you summon him? I can tell he's got a beautiful face underneath that mask, too. No fair, Akuta. How come you're the only one who gets a certified hottie working for her? That's not why he's here. Just shut up already, you dang fox. Prince Ling handled that. Alright, so things are going pretty well. The story seems nice, like the character so far. Alright, let's just use this up. Yeah, we are ready for that lottery. We have like almost 300 blue apples. Let's just do the friendship point summon. And if we get a unit, if we get Anger Manu, we'll do one multi for Morgan. If we don't get Anger Manu, then that's it. Alright, here we go. Spin it. Nothing. Alright. So that brings us to the end of this stream. I appreciate all of you guys staying for this. This one was slightly longer than usual because there's a lot of lore to cover. It was like all lore and 4 story characters, but it was pretty good though. So y'all have a good one, and hopefully see y'all next time. Adios. Bye bye.